Welcome to Booked All Night, the podcast where hot takes meet craft notes and no one gets enough sleep. Today, we are joined by Michael J. Brooks. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Hey, I am happy to be here.
Yes! I see that the book we're talking about today is part of a series. Go ahead and give us the rundown of the series.
Okay, so, the Wars of the New Humanity series. I started that series a couple of years ago, about, I'd say 3 years ago, wrote the first book in the series, and I guess if I had to sum it up, it follows our main protagonist. His name is Randall Scott, as he has to navigate the various wars of humanity's future, and it becomes the ultimate test of conscience. He finds out that, well, wars aren't always black and white. Sometimes they're gray. And it creates a struggle of who's right, who's wrong, who do I side with? And, I'd say that's kind of the gist of the series.
Yeah, I'd say from going through the blurbs getting ready for today's interview that it seems like a really big theme running through it is unlearning.
Yes, definitely. When I wrote the first book, the main hero, he has this idea that this war that's going on, is wrong. Basically, you have humanity that lives on two different worlds. One's a utopian world, one's kind of a dystopian world, and the part of humanity that lives on the dystopian world rebels. And our main hero thinks this rebellion is wrong, but when he actually gets deployed there and goes there to help quell the rebellion as a soldier of the Commonwealth Defense Force, he starts to see the conditions on this dystopian world. Mm-hmm. And then he starts to kind of have a heart-to-heart with himself and starts to ask himself, maybe this war is justified. Maybe I'm on the wrong side. And it becomes this entire dilemma that he has to go through.
That sounds like a very important read for today's political climate.
Yeah. And it was really fun writing that first book because you have this main hero who gets introduced to the darker parts of the world that he lives in. It's not like he was totally unaware that, oppression exists, or totally unaware that some parts of humanity aren't doing so well, but he didn't think it was at that level. Mm-hmm. But when he actually experiences it, he has to face that dilemma and as you said, maybe unlearn some things.
Yeah. So I'm going to get into our first game. It's a game of superlatives, kind of like end of the year yearbook nonsense. And there's just 5. Pick from your series any character that best fits these descriptions. Do you have any questions?
No, let's do it.
All right. So, the character most likely to start a war by accident.
Start a war by accident. I'm gonna go with the villain in my first book. His first name is Cornelius, so I'll go with that. Definitely the first one who would start a war by accident.
Cornelius definitely, even without a description of the character, just sounds like the name of a dude that would be like, oops, I hit the button. The next one is the character who would absolutely survive the apocalypse.
Character who would absolutely survive the apocalypse. Man, that is a very good question, but I'm gonna go with the main character's girlfriend, who's also a soldier in the Commonwealth Defense Force like him. Her name is Stacy Spencer. I'm gonna go with her because she is a resourceful character and someone who has inherited a good amount of wealth. And I think she would be best suited to survive the apocalypse.
Awesome. She's out there with a bunch of bottle caps for all the Fallout people. Next one is the character most likely to betray the team for the greater good.
Betray the team for the greater good. All right, I'm going to go with the main hero, Randall Scott. he's always trying to do what's right, always trying to do what's fair by other people. And he would be someone who says, hey, if I'm fighting on the wrong side, maybe I need to switch sides for the greater good.
I like that. That's a good switch to do. The next one is the character who should never be trusted with command.
The character who should never be trusted with command.
It's me. I'm the character.
Well, you got me there.
Do you have one for that?
Who would never be trusted with command? You know what? I am going to... So in Republic Shattered, my main villainess, Zataldra, has a younger sister. And I don't think I would ever trust her with command, even though she has a noble heart. I don't think she has the experience to lead in dangerous situations.
Okay. And the last one is the character most likely to walk away from an explosion without looking back.
Walk away from an explosion without looking back. I know that takes a lot of heart and a lot of courage, and you have to have some nerves of steel. I'm going to go with the main hero's father, Arson Scott, because he is a veteran of war. Okay. So, yeah, definitely. Lovely.
Sounds like great characters.
Thank you.
So let's jump into our questions. These first three are specifically about the book. So Republic Shattered, Sins of Before, places Randy in a brutal moral dilemma, which we talked about earlier, of fighting enemies who are themselves victims of the Commonwealth Defense Force.
Yep.
When you were developing this conflict, were you more interested in the action side of the story or in forcing Randy to confront the consequences of the CDF's history?
I would say that I was the most interested in forcing Randy to confront the consequences of the CDF's history, because a lot of that was explored in the first book, and in the third book, a lot of that kind of has just compounded. Mm-hmm. And now there's this question of, okay, so the Commonwealth Defense Force has done these sins. They've done some good too, but they've done some bad as well. And what happens when the people who they have done the bad things to wants retribution? Even though that might have been their past, even though there might be a new government who would never do those things, what happens? Do you just let the Commonwealth Defense Force off the hook? Who should be punished? Were the people who committed those sins just kind of victims themselves of indoctrination? So, definitely I was the most interested in having Randy kind of confront the consequences of the CDF's past.
Nice. So this season, our book read is the Hunger Games series, and I feel like your book is tying into that in that, like, I love dystopian literature, and I really wish that the world was not so relevant to the dystopian tales that I'm reading right now. Like, right. If the world could calm down just a little bit so that I could enjoy my dystopian literature without going, oh,
right.
Oh, yeah. So Zadaldra sounds like an amazing antagonist. Like, even just from the blurb, she feels really fully fleshed out, especially with her traumatic ties to the very system that Randy serves. When writing her, how did you approach balancing her role as a threat to the Commonwealth while also giving readers insight to the pain and history that shaped her?
That is a good question. So the book begins with a prologue, and that prologue shows what made Zataldra the villainess that she is. And it shows the part where her father was killed by the Commonwealth Defense Force. And on top of that, we also get to see in that prologue that she's heard some things about the Commonwealth Defense Force that would lead her to believe that they are villainous. She's heard about some of the things that they've done. And I think that was the way that I introduced Zataldra for the readers to sympathize with her past, actually showing it and not just talking about it.
Yeah. I find a lot of I read a lot of younger literature, and a lot of the villain backstory just kind of comes from I found a book that just lore dumps all of their trauma. And it's okay, great. Could we maybe have seen that?
Right.
I do feel like seeing it definitely has a bigger impact on the story than just kind of well, her home got blown up, and it's yeah, but if we got to experience that with her, then
right,
makes a as producer Rob puts in the chat, show don't tell. Exactly. It's a really good example of that.
Yes.
So we are in the middle of a looming war, or a war that's already happening. So why was it important to you as a storyteller to include the emotional triangle between Akane, Stacy, and Randy? And what parts of their characters were you hoping that tension would reveal?
Okay. Yeah. Good question. So Akane was a character that I introduced in the second book. And just to give you a little bit of her history, she was one of the people who lived on the dystopian world, which is Satellite 1. But through the lottery immigration system, she got the chance to live on the utopian world, Eden. So she's an immigrant from Satellite 1. And she was introduced to Randy's life at a time where things were difficult for him. The war had ended, but his comrades still see him as a traitor. They think that he should not have switched sides and joined the rebellion. So not everybody is pro-rebellion. There are a lot of people who still think the rebellion is wrong. And Randy is kind of an outcast in the second book among the people who should be his military family. And he formed a bond with Akane because she's also an outcast. Being from Satellite 1, the dystopian world, and her people were basically you could say her people, in a sense, started the war. So she's an outcast too. And he formed a relationship with her. At that time, he was basically broken up with his girlfriend, Stacy Spencer, who he eventually got back with at the end of the second book. And Akane, she goes back to Satellite 1 to visit her family at the end of that second book after a very difficult ordeal and battle. And in the third book, she returns. So there was this question of, okay, now that she's back and she's had this romantic history with Randy, but he's back with his former girlfriend. Well, do those feelings go away? Does Akane still have feelings for Randy? Does he have any romantic feelings still for her? So it was important to explore that to ensure to wrap up that story. And, how does Stacy feel about this former lover coming back into Randy's life? Is she antsy about it?
Yeah.
Is she antsy about the fact that they still have a friendship? So it was important to explore that.
Sounds fun. And it also brings us to the very first game of the podcast, which is Space 'em or Embrace 'em.
Okay.
So Space 'em or Embrace 'em comes with a little story behind it. You are traveling through the cosmos with a cargo full of tropes and cliches, and you suddenly get stuck into a black hole. In order to escape the black hole, you have to dump some of these tropes and cliches in order to lighten the load and get out.
Okay.
Your computer, however, is also broken, so you only get 2 of these at a time. And we have to keep going through them until you reach the magic number that I rolled earlier.
Okay.
Alright, so the first 2, artificial intelligence gaining sentience, or space marines with questionable command decisions.
I'm gonna dump artificial intelligence.
Okay. Brings us to found family crews on dangerous missions, or galactic governments hiding terrible secrets.
Dump the family crews.
The one soldier who refuses to give up trope, or long-lost lovers reappearing at the worst possible moment.
I'm gonna embrace long-lost lovers.
Okay, soldiers who refuse to give up. Out they go. Alien species with morally complex motivations, or massive last stand battle scenes.
I'm gonna dump massive battle scenes.
Massive battle scenes. Ancient tech that no one fully understands, or cliffhanger endings in series finales.
Dump the cliffhangers.
Out the airlock. Out they go.
Yes.
So we're not down to our magic number, so we have to go back through. So you have Space Marines with questionable command decisions, or galactic governments hiding terrible secrets.
I'm going to embrace galactic governments hiding terrible secrets.
Galactic governments. Long-lost lovers reappearing at the worst possible moment, or alien species with morally complex motivations.
I'm going to dump the alien species.
Dump the alien species. And we're almost there. Ancient tech that no one fully understands, or galactic governments hiding terrible secrets.
I'm going to embrace technology.
Embrace technology. Out the airlock go the government secrets. So that leaves you with long-lost lovers reappearing at the worst possible moment. And ancient tech that no one fully understands.
I will embrace the ancient tech.
Yes. Well, you actually got down to the magic number. These are the last two in your cargo, the lovers and the ancient tech.
Awesome.
Brings us back to questions, and these next three are about reading, writing, and craft. So, what authors have influenced your writing the most, and what have you learned from their work that has directly shaped your own approach to storytelling?
One of the authors that have influenced me the most is an author named N.E. Davenport. And she is the author of the Blood Trials duology.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really liked about her writing is it just felt unapologetically herself. And I really also enjoyed the thorough descriptions. It was just very artful to me, and it felt like I got a good lesson in how to write from a first person point of view for a book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's I love when like a voice really just sucks you in, and I feel like voice is the most important part of craft, and like, cause you can get a book that'll have the most amazing plot, but if the voice is like the most boring thing you have ever put your eyes on, it's like, this is torture. This is against the Eighth Amendment. Yeah. So your stories blend vivid action and adventure with heavier social issues. How do you approach pacing when you're balancing intense combat and high-stakes moments with deeper ethical or political questions?
So, pacing can be difficult, but it's about having, I believe they're called sequels, just those moments of peace within the story. Mm-hmm. Just having those moments for the fun and games, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I think that really helps with the pacing, giving the reader a break from all of the action and adventure.
Mm-hmm. Now, you've said somewhere that your goal is to deliver absolute quality and a fun adventure for readers. When you're revising a draft, what are the specific things you look for to make sure the story feels both polished and exciting?
Couple of things. One, I look for character development. Are my characters progressing through their arc in a way that is going to be interesting to the reader and want to make them keep reading the story and keep reading about the characters. Another thing that I look for is, of course, I look for the typical, misspelling of words. I look for redundant word use. Mm-hmm. Throughout my time writing, I have found that I use the words toward a lot, going toward the door, walking toward the person. I also overuse the word through sometimes. A chill ran through him. He went through the door. A happiness rippled through him. And sometimes I overuse the word with. He swiped the air with his hand, with an angry look in his eyes. He said this, with a defiant walk. He did this. I'm like, I overuse this too much. So I definitely look for that when I'm editing too, to deliver quality, because I don't want things to constantly sound repetitive.
Yeah, those adverb phrases as a writer are quite addictive, though. Just to be like, yeah, I want this clear image in your head.
Right. But avoiding using those, it makes you think and challenges yourself.
Yes.
You start to ask your way, okay, how can I start to say these things without using these words or using a different word?
Yeah. That brings us to the second official game of the podcast.
All right.
Which is a spelling bee.
Oh, no.
So, traditional spelling bee rules. I'll give you the word, the phonetic pronunciation, a definition, and an example of the sentence. You just have to spell it.
Okay. Can I use Google?
You cannot use Google. You cannot use Google. You cannot use spell check. You cannot use your text message spell check. It's all up in your head.
Okay. Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, we are on the honor system today, sir. All right, first word is penultimate.
Penultimate. Penultimate.
Yes. The second word is retribution.
Retribution.
Yes. The third word, annihilation.
Anihilation.
So close. There is a second N. It is a N-N-I-H-I-A-L-A. Word number 4, conscience.
Conscience.
Yes. Cataclysm.
Cataclysm. Cataclysm.
Very close. It is a Y instead of the I. The sixth one, adversary.
Adversary.
Yes.
Almost said ERY. Almost.
The seventh word, allegiance.
That would be ALLEGENCE.
Is ALLEGIANCE. Word number 8, insurrection.
INSURRECTION.
Yes. Word number 9, paradox.
PARADOX.
Yes. And the last one, catastrophe.
Catastrophe. CATASTROH. I think E.
So it is TROPHE. Yeah. And phonetics is hard. Like,
Yeah.
And now we are down to our final questions, and these are all kind of chaotic sleepover, sleepy haha questions. You are trapped on a spaceship for a week with one fictional character from any sci-fi universe. Who are you picking, and how quickly does the situation spiral out of control?
If I could be trapped with any character from any science fiction universe, who would I pick? That's a good question. Science fiction universe. I am gonna go with... I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've seen a lot of Star Trek too. You know what? I'm going to go with Yoda.
Yoda.
Yeah, maybe I think I could learn some things.
I think I'd take Q from Star Trek, and the situation is immediately out of control. Just.
No, I think I'd pick Yoda, but I think eventually it might drive me a little nuts. I think maybe a little. I feel like it'd be constant challenges and tests of wisdom and all of that.
Like, dude, I just want to nap. I don't want to carry you like a backpack. Yeah.
Right.
If you had to swap the tone of your series with another genre, like rom-com, cozy mystery, high fantasy, which one would be the funniest disaster?
The funniest disaster. I'll go with rom-com. I think that would be the funniest disaster. Yeah.
Have you ever seen the remade trailers where they take like horror movie trailers and people redo the music and stuff behind them and recut them to make them like a rom-com?
I have not seen that.
Oh, you got to look it up. They're so funny, and it's just like the one with Scream where it's like, hello. They're like, oh my god, hi! Like,
I have to check that out.
Yeah, they're funny. I love them. Which is more terrifying? A, your main character making a decision that you did not plan, or B, realizing your villain is actually right?
I think realizing my villain is actually right would be the most terrifying, because he's supposed to be wrong.
I had a teacher, Joe McGee, he used to teach a section on like writing villains, and that was a big part, was that a truly terrifying villain is one that you agree with, where like that makes you question whether or not your beliefs are correct, and I'm like, yes, dangerous villains. You wake up tomorrow and discover one of your characters has taken over your writing process and is now dictating the story. Who do you hope it isn't?
I hope that it isn't. You know, I would say that I would hope that it wouldn't be my villainous Zataldra taking over my writing process, because she has the basically the belief that all of humanity is bad because of her experiences. So I don't think I would want her taking over my writing process and painting myself and everyone else that I know as terrible human beings.
Number 5, be honest. How many tabs of research turn into watching random sci-fi clips, comic lore deep dives, or Netflix instead of writing?
How many tabs? I guess I would have to say, let's go with 10.
10, yeah. I've got about 10 tabs open right now, and we're recording podcasts.
Yeah. I go with 10.
So it is 3 a.m. at a chaotic writer's sleepover, and someone says, I have an idea for a new book. Are you the one starting the brainstorm spiral, or are you the one begging everyone to just go to sleep?
I think I would be the one starting the brainstorm spiral. I like brainstorming new ideas, trying to flesh out new ideas, figure out who the characters are, what are their arcs, their misbeliefs, all of the above.
I am the big same. Like, I love getting together with writers and helping people flesh out their ideas. It's so fun to like get into their process and their writing and their world. And one of the hosts on here, most of us went to school together, but one of the hosts, Maggie, had come up with this fantasy world and there were 2 moons. And I was like, hey, how does that affect like the tide? And so then like 4 hours later, we're still going through research on how the moon affects the tide and what would happen if there were a second moon and would these moons ever like clash into each other? and I'm like, I think we may have lost the plot. Like, but now I fully understand how the moon works, and that's important. So, if your series had to include one completely ridiculous sci-fi element, like sentient space hamsters, or a weaponized karaoke machine, or an alien species obsessed with fanfiction, which one would you add?
You know what? I think the alien obsessed with fan fiction would be probably the most absurd and hilarious. Yeah.
Do you think aliens in your world would be writing fan fiction about your work?
No, I do not believe that. No, and that's what makes it so hilarious.
And the final official question is, what is the most chaotic writing habit that you have that somehow still works for you?
The most chaotic writing habit. Chaotic? I think when I get started with writing, sometimes it's hard to stop, and I find myself writing for hours, and it's midnight, and I should have went to bed so I could get up to go to work. I end up going to work late, or I end up getting late. I end up waking up later than I had intended, but I end up getting a lot on page that maybe I would not have gotten on page had I not stayed up that extra hour and just get those thoughts out. Yeah. I
think my worst one, I think, is leaving myself notes via text message as I'm like falling asleep. The worst one to date has just been Clockwork Peacocks, and I'm like, what does it mean? What does it mean? What was I thinking? What is this? I have no idea. I'm determined to put Clockwork Peacocks into some work somewhere, but I have no idea where they belong. But I feel like I have to, right? Like the note was important to very sleepy Jessica. It's very important. Right. I do have one question about the name of your villain. So I'm a little obsessed with names because my name is Jessica, and a toddler fell down a well in 1987, and now everybody is named Jessica, and so I'm always like really interested in names that I haven't heard before. So where does Zatoldra come from?
To be honest, it just comes from really just taking the time out and just trying to brainstorm a good name for, an alien woman. Mm-hmm. And just really taking the time out to just really brainstorm it, really. And I've probably went through several names. I probably went through Zadaldra or something of that matter. So just experimenting with different variations. But yeah, naming characters is really something that's important to me, because I really feel like, if a character has the wrong name, it just won't be the same. The name really has to fit that character.
Yeah. I've had are you a placeholder name kind of person when you can't think of one to name a new character?
Yep, sometimes I am. and it really bothers me that I don't have that name.
Sometimes I'm just like, and this one's Bob for the next 5 chapters till I think of something. And then I got attached to Bob. And I'm like, but it can't be that name. That name doesn't fit.
Right.
Yeah, I totally get that. So we ask this of all of our guests at the end of every interview. Is there anyone that you would like to give a shout out to today? Anyone who helped you get the book out, from workshop partners to agents to publishers? And if you did all the work yourself, then give yourself a big thank you.
Sure. I would give a shout out to the developmental editor that I used for my second book in the Wars of the New Humanity series and the third book, Republic Shattered, Sins of Before. I believe that would be Liliani DeWindit. I hope I'm not pronouncing that incorrect, but I found that developmental editor on, I guess it's called Fever. I'm not sure which they call it, but
I think it is Fiverr.
Yeah. And I feel like I really lucked up and found somebody who's pretty good. Yeah. And I would give a shout out to her because she always made me aware if a character wasn't acting the way that they should. Well, she would point out that this action that this character is taking seems out of character for them. And she would point out other things in the story that needed to be tightened up. Wouldn't this character put up more of a struggle? Wouldn't they be more stubborn? And it really helped me keep some characters on track and, really refine some small things that I can say the book wouldn't be the same if I had not refined those small things.
Very nice. And do you want to just plug your socials or website? Let everybody know where to find you and your books?
Yep. They can go to authormbrooks.com. From that website, there are also links to find me on Twitter. I'm also on Threads. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok. So you just head on over to authormbrooks.com and you can find all of the social media links there.